It's like almost noon, my first cup of coffee since morning. So an interesting thing that kind of happened yesterday, we were all huddled together at Diwali and we were watching a video from like 87 on a VHS tape. So if you don't know what a VHS tape is, pause, switch over to another tab, Google VHS tape, understand what it is, and then come back. All right, now that you're back, we were watching this family function from like back in 1987. To give you a context of how crazy animations were back then versus now, this is the animation right in the beginning of the person just putting my name out. And I'm sure it was all like the rad back then. What occurred to me was like how much we take technology for granted. In contrast, my first computer was a Pentium 1 processor running Windows 95. It had 2 gigs of storage and 128 MB of RAM. It still works perfectly, but like compare that with the contrast of today where my smartphone has 2 gigs of memory and like 64 GB of RAM. You know, Sailesh and I always have this conversation. We always like love going into this nostalgic conversation where we kind of compare notes between his first computers and my first computer. And we love getting nostalgic about the fact that how if we had to install a software, we would stick a tape on the screen as on the progress bar just to get an indication if the progress bar has moved in the last 20 minutes. Compare that running like Windows 95 or Windows NT and using that as a compute versus, you know, Google announcing the quantum computer like last week. It's always funny how today's generation just takes that for granted in terms of technology, in terms of like, I'll Google something. Back in our days, we couldn't Google something. The library was our Google. Technology has come a long way and we take it for granted, and I think this is not of a rant but like just a thought like how much technology has changed. Alright, that was enough of like me ranting about technology and sounding a bit old and fatigued. We're heading off for lunch with the family. I ironically ran out of complete space on my phone while I talk about the amount of space that's there in today's technology. We're here for lunch with the entire family and the Rugrat is just enjoying the entire Halloween decoration. I don't know about you guys, but like any restaurant which has like a devil's face on the door, that was a more than appetizing lunch. It's called Blighton in Sakar Nagar. If you're ever in Sakar Nagar, Blighton, check it out.